Hey guys, this is Titan and oh boy has it been a long time since the last episode of Vedastein, but well, here we are, back with full force and full motivation and whatever. So welcome to this 20th episode of my very own Cities Skylines project Vedastein, and today we, as always, continue building this realistic small German town. Now, you already see on the title of the episode what's the plan for today, and this is the Funicular. And, well, on the screen you already see I am actually working on this at the beginning of this episode, because, yeah, I wanted it as the if you want to call it like that, the focal point of the area we're working on for today. And that being said, it actually takes the lesser part of the episode to build the Funicular. It's in the end more or less a backdrop. It wasn't supposed to be like that, but well, it is how it is. I mean, it is on the edge of today's development or building area, so I think we just have to live with that. Well, yeah, but I think it's okay. So why why am I building a funicular? Well, the reason is quite easy. I like them, and I had this idea that, you know, the city is in the valley, and on top of the mountains surrounding the city, there would be some rich people mansions district, whatever. And here I'm taking inspiration from my home city, from Dresden. We also have this, so you know, the city is in the valley, and then you have mountains or highlands surrounding the city, and there is this certain district where there are a lot of mansions and yeah, rich people's homes or whatever. And somewhere in the 19th century, there was a funicular built to so these people that live there on top of the highlands or kind of above the city have still easy access to the city. And I wanted to have the same kind of feel or the same kind of look here in Vedastein, and so I did it. And that being said, that all wouldn't have been possible without Revo's and Jez's great Paris Montmartre, I'm guessing that's pronounced, funicular. They did a great job working that out, and yeah, I'm happy to use it here in Vedastein now. But we're in about minute 4 of the episode, and the funicular is already done. So yeah, as I said, it's the kind of main part of the episode, but it takes the least time of the episode because it's done, and then I have to actually continue building the city itself. And here I'm doing that. Now, I also had the idea that in front of the funicular there would be a long narrow park. So when you approach the funicular, I'm not even sure if I pronounced the word correctly, if I'm honest, but I think you get what I'm saying. So if you approach the funicular, you already have the view over it and over the whole course of it. And I thought that's quite an interesting idea to have this long narrow park, this long narrow corridor, or to have it there and the funicular as a focal point. And to be honest, I think that actually turned out pretty nice. And so that's what I'm doing here this very moment. Okay, not anymore. You see that by now I actually use the railway mod, or the tracks that come with the railway mod from Revo and Ronnie, because, well, not gonna lie, they look amazing, and why shouldn't I use them? Sorry. The whole time I had the fear that my PC, or more specifically my RAM, couldn't handle it. So I kind of hesitated if I should use those rails or if I shouldn't. In the end, as you see, I used them, and I think they are pretty, pretty good. Or of course they're pretty good, but they aren't that strong on the performance as that. That would be a big, yeah, kind of hinderness thing. So yeah, all good on that side. And well, as we are anyway currently developing this area, let me talk more about the whole development idea of this area here. So, you know, Vedastein kinda, yeah, develops in, or builds itself in 3 stages, if I may say so. So we have the old town, then we have the inner city, or downtown, if you might say so, but I would say for a city with roughly 30,000 inhabitants, it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit over the top to say, or to call it downtown. So we have the old town, then the downtown with the station and the big theater and the city park, and the next level would be well, in the Vorstädte, or the suburbs, even though the English American concept of suburbs doesn't quite fit in this concept here. And this is this huge yeah, development of these founders style or founders age period houses, or Gründerzeit houses. And yeah, I'm using those as the or for the biggest part I'm using those by Find Build, because, well, we all know they look amazing. But as well, Vedastein is a small town, it would be too much to have basically the whole valley of Vedastein and built with these yeah, block houses that Find Build made. And so, as we are kind of going away with building from the old town or from the inner city, I'm slowly continuing to my cube houses, because by using those I get a more yeah, open, well, the city transitions more openly into the surrounding areas. And so you also you already see me using more and more cube houses here as we yeah, develop further away from the inner city. And yeah, so that's the background for the buildings I'm using here. And maybe that's something that you also should consider when building at least a German inspired city. Then another thing we have here is this church next to the park, or yeah, next to the park area here. And yeah, well, reason for the church being there is basically just that I wanted to have another focal point when you see the city of Vedastein as a whole, and not just there is the old town and the rest is basically just there. You know, it's not just that you live outside of the old town or outside of the downtown or in the suburbs or whatever and travel into the downtown every day, but you actually live and work and whatever outside of the downtown, in the suburbs, blah blah blah. And to kind of emphasize that, to put a put the sign there, I wanted to have this church there that kind of symbolizes that there still is life outside of the downtown, outside of the old town. And so this area here is kind of a second main downtown thingy, but not for the whole city, but just for the area. I'm not sure if there's a proper English term for that, to be honest. In German, that's a Stadtteilzentrum. That would be something like a district center in English. I think you can follow me with that here. And so that's something, yeah, I wanted to also have here, and a look that I also wanted to achieve in the game, or in the city. And now here, okay, up until now you saw me building these backyards. Well, I have done this for quite a while, and basically in every episode of Vedastein I somehow developed some backyard areas, because that's an important thing in, I might say, German towns, but I actually would say European in general, that you have buildings toward the streets. So you have buildings that form kind of a block, and in the middle you have backyards, and usually every house has its own backyard. They are separated by fences or hedges or whatever, and yeah, the house community uses this backyard for, I don't know, for small private playground, or for private pool or whatever, depending how much money they have, of course. And yeah, so on every block I'm kind of simulating this. Sadly, it's not that possible to have people in this backyard that do whatever you do in such a backyard, but by using some washing lines and plopping some trees that also hide the view, I think it looks quite realistic. And yeah, but at the same time, as they are taking actually more time than they should take, most of the backyards I'm not including in the video because it would take too much time, and I think it's okay. By yeah, showing the development of one or two of these backyard areas in one episode, I think you get the impression of how it at least can be done. I'm not saying that's the only way to achieve this look or the only way to kind of populate the area, but that's a way it can be done, and I'm just showing you my way of doing it. And yeah, then of course I'm using some mud and dirt decals that give a more well used look, because without those decals you would have the perfect grass inside those backyard areas, and that just doesn't make sense, because you know there would be children playing, there would be yeah, people hanging their clothes on washing lines or whatever. So over time, of course, the grass gets dirty, gets muddy, whatever. And so for a more realistic look, you definitely have to use at least some kind of dirt, mud, or whatever decal. And that's why I'm constantly doing that. So yeah, here, as I said, I'm including such a backyard area, developing part, whatever, and you exactly see what I just told you. We have washing lines, we have fences that kind of separate the different backyard areas into more private zones, and then there are sandboxes. There's a football goal for people, children, whatever, to play with. There are terraces with tables and grills. there's a private pool. Yeah, so all that gives a more realistic and more yeah, feel that the city is actually lived in. The only thing that's, well, kind of missing are small garden areas, so where people plant their own crops. Sometimes they have apple trees, or they have small fields where they plant some I don't know, salad, cabbage maybe. That also happens in those small, yeah, backyard areas, but I haven't found good props yet to simulate that. And to be honest, I don't really want to do that myself. So for now, there's no garden. It's just for playing and washing lines and whatever. And here on the other side I placed faint builds, kind of blockhouse, garbage burning facility area building thing. Well, the main reason for that was because the garbage incinerators that I had yeah, couldn't quite burn or whatever all the garbage I had in the city, so I used this building basically just to yeah, solve that problem. I wouldn't say it's that realistic to have it there, because in such a small town, yeah, and at least I never saw it anywhere. You can see it in, or you could have seen it before the war in big cities like Berlin, for example, as this building also is from Berlin, but not really in small cities as far as I know, but I might be wrong on that. Anyway, here I'm just, what I actually wanted to say, here I'm just building a kind of backdrop area for this garbage burning facility with some containers, and maybe there's, well, maybe these are the garages where the garbage trucks are held in, or whatever. I think whatever it actually is, it gives a quite realistic look. And as this is a kind of, let's say, semi-industrial area, it only makes sense to put some grunge decals there, some tire marks, and yeah. And concerning the elevated train track here, it's actually not that hard, well, to achieve a certain, yeah, semi-rural, semi-inner town look. On the countryside it would have been just an elevated railway without any wall next to it. But here, as we are still kind of in the city, I put some retaining walls next to the train tracks to give it a more, yeah, let's call it look. And again, I also think that turned out pretty good, to be honest. And so here toward the yeah, park area, I'm continuing that effect. And again, it's great to use procedural objects for this, because it kinda yeah, multiplies the possibilities you have with each object or with each prop. And if you're not using procedural objects yet, you definitely should. And if you don't know how to use it, or you're a bit afraid of the possibilities it offers, and you don't know where to start, Strict Toaster and Maddie did a pretty good tutorial on that together in a stream, and that might be your first yeah, look into procedural objects if you're, I don't know, too afraid. But I only can recommend it because it really gives you possibilities that are, I don't know, beyond anything we have had before. In terms of detailing, at least. If you're not that much into detailing, that you probably don't need it. And here, well, we are already pretty much into, yeah, creating this small park or detailing this small park. It's nothing too special, it's just basically a path in the middle, a small plaza in front of the church to give it another focal point, so to say, and then grass areas. On the side of the streets I'm putting a few trees, and well, there's not much more to say actually about that. But all those small details, details give it, yeah, a more realistic look. And yeah, I'm quite satisfied with how the whole area turned out in the end. And yeah. And the last thing for this episode is just, well, basically more houses. So here there is this area next to the rail or train line where I thought I want some houses there and not just forest basically. And so I kinda thought what would fit there, because the dense housing of the block houses from Faintbill that I'm using mostly, that really would be too much here. Then I thought maybe my cube houses would fit, but yeah, well, no, even those would be too big for this small street we have here. And so I came up with the idea of using Faintbill's small, they are called Zechenhäuser, even by him, sorry. I was a bit in the German mode. They are kind of, originally they are kind of houses for workers in the mining, in coal mines in the Ruhr area in Germany. But of course those houses could be anywhere, and they have a perfect size for what I'm needing here, and I think they actually give a pretty good look and transition really well from the city into the forest. And yeah, and of course, as these are residential houses, we have some, well, backyard might be the wrong word, but some back side area, whatever. But what can I say, this episode is coming to an end, and it actually went pretty fast, to be honest. So yeah, I hope you liked this episode with me talking a bit more about the whole city development we have in Vedastein. Have fun with the cinematic at the end of this video, and if you like this video, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel if you want to stay up to date with Vedastein, and well, if you want to support me further and by that also get small rewards like early access to assets and videos, you can support me on Patreon, as so many great people are already doing, and I can't say it often enough, I love you guys for that. You are amazing. And yeah. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Again, the next episode will be, as usual, will be out next Friday and earlier for patrons, but okay, sorry for that advertising here. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next episode. Boy, I can't talk anymore. See you in the next episode, and until then, have a nice time. Bye.